Welcome to This Explainer, Taj Mahal, the bloody myth versus the beautiful truth. We are jumping right into one of history's absolute biggest mysteries today. We're looking at a structure that is known globally as the ultimate symbol of love, right? The magnificent Taj Mahal. But hanging over all that shining white marble is this incredibly gruesome rumor. It's a story that's been whispered for centuries, repeated in history classes, and now it totally dominates the internet. So our goal today is to investigate this dark legend, separate the hard historical facts from the sensational folklore, and uncover the actual beautiful truth about India's most famous monument.
Okay, let's dive into this. Did Shah Jahan really chop off the hands of 20,000 workers? That is the chilling question at the core of this whole legend, isn't it? The story basically claims that as soon as the Taj Mahal was finished, the emperor was just so obsessed with its unique beauty that he demanded the hands of all 20,000 workers be chopped off. The supposed motive? To absolutely guarantee that these brilliant artisans could never, ever build anything even close to as beautiful for a rival ruler. So it's framed as this story of ultimate cruelty, right on the heels of the ultimate act of love.
And hey, if you think this is just some forgotten old wives' tale, get a load of this number, 1,945,624. That is the view count of just one single, relatively recent YouTube video titled, "Why Did Shah Jahan Chop Off the Hands of the Taj Mahal Builders?" Almost 2 million people watched just that one video. That just goes to show you exactly how deeply this chilling folklore is still believed today. It's this incredibly viral mystery. But, to understand how a rumor like this even starts in the first place, we actually need to go back to the beginning. The romance behind the rumor. To truly grasp the origins of this dark myth, we first have to understand the profound love, and honestly, the devastating tragedy that set this whole massive project into motion. This wasn't just some emperor waking up and wanting a grand tomb. It was about a deeply personal loss that completely shattered a very powerful ruler. The story really centers around Arjumand Bano Begum, who you probably know better as Mumtaz Mahal. Now, it is absolutely crucial to understand that Mumtaz was far more than just a figurehead or, a beautiful queen sitting on the sidelines. According to historical records, she was Emperor Shah Jahan's absolute most trusted political advisor. She was his confidant. She was basically his partner in ruling the entire vast Mughal empire. And because she was so integral to his life and his governance, her sudden passing left the emperor just completely devastated. His grief was absolute. And the story goes that on her deathbed, she actually asked him to build a monument in her memory, something the likes of which the world had never seen before. Let's move to and see how this builds, because fulfilling that kind of massive promise required a pretty grueling timeline. In 1631, Mumtaz Mahal tragically passes away in Burhanpur. Shah Jahan, fueled by just immense grief and bound by that deathbed promise, wastes absolutely no time. Just 1 year later, in 1632, the construction of the Taj Mahal begins. But as you can imagine, creating a monument the likes of which the world had never seen doesn't exactly happen overnight. It became this relentless, staggering 22-year mega project. Day in and day out, for over 2 decades, completing this promise was the absolute focus of the empire. Until finally, in the year 1653, the masterpiece was completed. Now, bringing this vision to life obviously required an immense amount of human effort. 20,000. That's how many artisans, stonecutters, and laborers it took. An absolute army of workers. And these incredible people poured their sweat and their skill into shaping the stunning white Makrana marble that we still see today. I mean, they worked day and night, carving these insanely intricate designs, hauling massive stones, and just executing a flawless architectural vision. This wasn't just your everyday construction site. It was literally the gathering of the greatest craftsmen of the entire era, all in one place. Now, what's really interesting about this is the mind-boggling engineering reality underneath all that poetry. Think about it for a second. They were building a massive, towering structure that was meant to last for eternity, and they were doing it back in 1632. They obviously didn't have modern cement, they didn't have steel rebar, so how on earth did 20,000 workers manage to bind these colossal, super heavy marble stones together so securely that the building still stands perfectly intact centuries later? Well, the answer lies in the absolute, unparalleled brilliance of the artisans and their grasp of organic chemistry. Instead of modern cement, they actually created this highly unique and surprisingly sweet organic mortar mix. They used a paste made from jaggery, or gur. Then they mixed in sugar candies known as batache. They added the juice of the bell fruit, along with a bunch of other native herbs, lentils, and materials. I know, it sounds like a recipe for a dessert, right? But this incredible, eco-friendly concoction actually formed a bond so strong that it has literally defied the ravages of time and weather. It is a massive testament to the sheer genius of the people who built it.
The pivot from marvel to mutilation, which brings us to a really massive contradiction. I want you to ask yourself a question here. We have an emperor honoring his beloved wife. We have 20,000 brilliant artisans working in perfect harmony for 22 years, using these ingenious techniques to build a total masterpiece of global heritage. So how do we get from a marvel of human achievement to an alleged mass bloodbath?
And this brilliantly illustrates the massive gap between what people love to whisper about online and what actually happened in reality. On one side, we have the folklore. The folklore says workers' hands were chopped off to prevent them from copying the design. It's a highly sensational, super dramatic tale of an insecure emperor mutilating his own master builders. But on the other side, we have the historical fact. Historians who have actually scoured the archives, read the ancient manuscripts, and studied the era note that there is absolutely, unequivocally, zero historical proof of any such mutilation ever taking place. Literally none.
So you're probably wondering, where did the rumor even come from? Well, the answer is actually a fascinating linguistic misunderstanding. Think about the phrase, "it cost an arm and a leg." You know that doesn't mean an actual physical amputation, right? It just means something was super expensive. Similarly, in the context of the Mughal era, cutting hands was merely a historical idiom. It was just a metaphor. It didn't mean physical torture at all. It meant legally preventing someone from working. It was basically the 17th century equivalent of a strict, airtight, lifelong non-compete clause to ensure these absolute masters wouldn't just pack up and go work for rival kings.
And the reality for these workers was just drastically different from the bloody myth. Instead of being tortured, they were actually offered the deal of a lifetime. Shah Jahan had them sign a lifelong exclusivity contract, but in return, the emperor granted them a wildly generous lifetime pension. They received a continuous royal salary that totally guaranteed their financial security for the rest of their lives, without the need to ever lift a finger again. So their hands were tied from working elsewhere, not literally chopped off. They were essentially given the ultimate royal severance package in exchange for their exclusive masterpiece.
The historical detective smoking gun. Now, for anyone watching this explainer who might still be holding on to just a tiny shred of doubt, anyone thinking, well, maybe just a few hands were chopped, history has actually left us one definitive, undeniable piece of evidence. It's a clue so powerful it acts as a total smoking gun, cracking this entire case wide open and putting the rumor to rest permanently. So the crucial point is this. The definitive proof lies with a man named Ustad Aman Lahori. He was the chief architect of the Taj Mahal, the absolute mastermind behind the entire design. Now, historical records clearly show that years after the Taj Mahal was completed, this exact same man, Ustad Aman Lahori, was commissioned to lay the foundation and design another massive architectural marvel, the Red Fort in Delhi. So ask yourself, how could the chief architect possibly design and oversee the incredibly complex construction of the Red Fort if the emperor had previously chopped off his hands? The simple answer is, he couldn't. There's no way. His hands were perfectly intact, just like the rest of his crew.
The Taj Mahal was built with sweat, not blood. It's not a monument of cruelty. It was built with the absolute dedication and the unmatched skill of thousands of highly honored artisans. The historical evidence is crystal clear on this. But I want to leave you with a provocative question to think about today. If the truth is actually this really beautiful story of lifetime pensions, brilliant organic engineering, and enduring love, why is it that we, as humans, are so quick to believe and share the dark, gruesome myths? What is it about sensationalism that makes us want to ignore reality? It's definitely something to ponder the next time you hear a rumor that sounds just a little too dramatic to be true. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. I really hope you walk away today with a clearer understanding and a much deeper appreciation for the true history of the Taj Mahal. Keep learning, keep questioning, and I'll see you in the next one.